So in this little presentation, we'd like to give you a primer onto what we mean or what the moving parts are for privileged process automation. And for us, it starts off with the concepts of commands, tasks, and processes. Now, commands are things that get something done on a device, and a task is a collection of those commands that might get an overall thing done, like change a port to a VLAN or add a user or what have you. And a process is more like a business requirement. So a process might be provision this person into networking, which means that you've got to talk to Active Directory, you might have to talk to Infoblox, you might talk to ServiceNow, and you might talk to a bunch of routers and a firewall, for example, to allow rules through. So that's the examples of commands, tasks, and processes. So how do these things get put into the privileged process automation environment? Well, we use containers. So let's talk about what goes into a container. So we start with the container, and in that container we drop the basics of an operating system. We drop the languages that you require in there. You'll be dropping the libraries that you need to run alongside that language, and these are the dependencies. And what's interesting, of course, is that these dependencies are now locked into that container, so once it's working it can't be broken by any other changes. There's a bunch of other libraries that you can put in at this point, and these are the libraries that we've made to make life easy for you. So we've made libraries for Active Directory, ServiceNow, Infoblox, Cisco, Checkpoint, and a pile of others. So if you're writing a process, you might want to simplify those things by using what we've already done. Then what else is going into that container will be access to a secure file system, some routes out to networking, and then of course your process code will go in as well. Then also going into that container, there are 3 or 4 important subsystems that come in from PPA. The first of which is the virtual vault system or the proxy vault system. So this is a block that looks like a vault. So your process code talks to that vault and gets the credentials. And in the background, the PPA appliance is arbitrating between those requests and the real vaults. And that's what makes it easy for programmers to work in a UAT environment and then move it into a production environment without all the hassle of changing the code, because you're just telling the PPA, look, this task is now using these vaults over here. The other big component that goes in there is the UI interaction system. Now this is the thing that creates the user interface that you see surfaced in the automation gallery. So it's the bit that allows the humans to interact with the tasks. And it's very simplest level. It's just working with the language to say, we know this thing is a question, so we're going to format it. We know this thing is a table, so we're going to create you a beautiful table and put it back there. Your code doesn't have to know how to create a table. The table will be created for you by the PPA. And the other important parts are request approvals and notifications. So if your task at any point has to go back and interact with a human, or perhaps a different human, not the one that started it but somebody else, all of the requirements that you need to get that done are in that subsystem. That subsystem then goes and uses the email subsystem, because email's complicated and there'll be loads of authentication and certificates and things like that around it. But if you are a secure task, you're already allowed to use those things, or you're allowed to use those things within limits. Then interestingly, that entire container then drops into another container, but that's just part of our security system. And then that lot is then managed by the privileged process automation appliance. And that's the thing that runs the tasks as you need them, provides the automation gallery, and has all of the scheduling, the APIs, and especially it has all of the auditing systems to tell you which task was run by which person, when, who interacted with it, and who responded to request approvals, and it has the playback mechanism and all the rest of it. So there you are. In essence, what you've got is commands, tasks, and processes. They all get put into a container with all of the ingredients that you need to run that task, which is all nicely sealed up. Then, if authenticated, that finds itself into the PPA appliance, which then can get run from API schedules or the automation gallery. If you found that useful, we're really pleased. If you need to know more, please get in touch. And if you like this kind of technical content, slap like and subscribe.